A few chats with Sultana Mohammed, I think.
Yes, I have. Oh, yes. Particularly with Sultan. But I mean also...
Can you give me a thumbnail sketch of Gordon Grant?
He's like a sort of cross between a snowplow and a combine harvester. I mean, he just sort of drives through. And that's how you have to be in politics. He's a one-off, isn't he, Gordon? It's not like anyone. It's not like anyone you've ever met. And perhaps that's the public's problem with Gordon. They can't put him into a category. They can't put him into a likeness. They can't think who he reminds them of. Given up. I'd settle for the tie being straight. I'd give up on the hair as long as the tie was sort of centred. I just cannot understand why you can't tie a tie like anyone else and centre it like anyone else and have it remain there between, you know, in the middle between the two collars. I just don't understand it. You know, if he can, you know, be normal and human with people as he walks through a railway station, let him be. You can't stage it and you can't contrive it. But if he does it, let him do it.
The key thing is how we charge up his batteries. The thing that holds him back with
this is an important point.
The thing that holds him back with the public is they think the guy's low on energy, he's been beaten up, and he's lacking confidence. So we can't construct a campaign which, on paper, gives some kind of definition as a brand if it actually saps his energy and saps his confidence.
No, because I'm thinking about how it's portrayed on the news at night. And
it doesn't have to be portrayed, Ben. It just is. I want him both to be brainy. Fine, he can have his braininess and be as brainy as he likes. What I also want him to be is sufficiently relaxed and approachable that you know, people, you know, can, you know, conclude that he is, as well as everything else, a human being. There's a leader in the Times which I would not normally sort of probably even read, let alone care about, but I mean it both lacks substance or argument, and so I don't quite know what they're going on about, but it's also sort of curiously personal, and I want to understand it. I mean, I don't care what people say, but I'd rather understand the argument. I mean, I thought that it would be a brilliant idea if you actually heard what my views are and my policies and my ideas from me before slamming me for what I don't think and am not doing for motives I don't possess. And if you had just ever, any of your staff had ever bothered to ask me what I think and what I'm doing and why, then you could attack me even better. But I'm sorry, what is the position I'm taking? How would you define it? Good. I look forward to it.
Just briefly, the article.
The next editor.
Peter!
Yeah, I'm just here, Richard. Right.
Pete! Why is this thing I've written here being crossed out?
Because it was undecipherable. And we thought fair was a better expression.
Thank God, what I want. Thank you.
But can you tell us precisely what it is?
But, that's spelled B-U-T. Not, that's N-O-T.
Okay.
More, that's M-O-R-E.
Okay.
Of,
Okay.
I think that's fairly clear, of, O-F. It's, that's I-T-S.
Okay, let's read the entire sentence.
Share.
Straight up your back.
That's great.
Let's have a quick look.
That's good. What about looking out the window?
No, that's really weird. It looks as if my head has been grafted onto something else. That's much better.
So some of the early ones from that setup, because I went wider with the lens. Go back one. So I think that's really nice.
Good, huh? No, I don't like my mouth. My mouth looks old there. Still. Come on, that's it. Okay. Just sort of tell me, what is your SWOT analysis? Strengths.
Well, it's all threats and no opportunities. Yeah, I mean, look, the biggest, I think, the biggest single thing we have to focus on, which obviously relates to the budget, is how do we demonstrate that this manifesto is a fiscally credible package, which points the way to a sort of credible next term for the Labour Party. I mean, I think the danger, as we've seen before, is that it looks like a set of spewed out uncosted commitments that don't add up.
I mean, it would be very hard to stop everyone piling everything into it by the kitchen sink.
Can we do more than high-speed rail, growth and social care? Personally, I think we're in a real mess on social care, but we've now discovered that we need 1.5 billion to fund the next Parliament, but we've discovered since a 3.8 billion black hole in the funding for maintaining the current level of social care provision.
Okay, that's very unfortunate.
Yes, current provision and the bill's proposals and what we want to do in the next Parliament would cost in total 5.2 billion. So it would be 3.8 plus 1.5.
Sorry, it would be about 5 billion.
5.2 billion, yeah.
You've got to talk to George. Oh, come on. This isn't fair. Come on. Sure, you've got to talk to him. But you don't need to talk to Benny. Benny knows it already. Ben, tell George what to say. Go on, no, George. Don't be put off your stride. Please, come on. No, that's not fair. Don't rise to it.
You did brilliantly, and we have also spun you brilliantly. Ignore the opinion polls or whatever. You have some way to claw back with the public, and you started doing that today, and you did it very well. The format works for you. That's the main thing for you to take away from tonight. It works for you. There are certain adjustments you can make in tone or style or whatever, and all those can be programmed in. But the fact is, the format works for you. The longer you go, the more serious, the more substantial you become. And for Cameron, he just comes across as what he is. He's a born populist who empathises with every audience he talks to. But when you ask the second and the third question of him, behind the veneer, there simply is not enough for Cameron to give. And that's what started to be revealed tonight. And that's why the debate has succeeded in opening up the election.